A couple of weeks ago, we planted some of our vegetables and flowers in grow bags, kind of a space-saving idea and also a nice way to garden without using soil that might be contaminated with insects or diseases. And as a reminder, we put in a couple of flowers, some tomatoes and peppers. Most everything is established and doing pretty well, but we're giving them a little bit of side dressing with a soluble fertilizer and a water solution, trying to pick them up and get them going real well. But one thing I failed to mention to you is that once you get them planted and you start watering, depending on if you use the irrigation like we have here or just hand watering, you'll want to poke some holes down at the bottom of the bags, maybe 3 or 4 along each side, to allow for drainage of the excess water, because it'd be real easy for the containers to hold too much water, turn sour and cause some disease problems. And also, if the white latex paint that we put on, if you put some on and it starts wearing off before you get a good coverage of foliage to shade it, it'd be a good idea to come in and try to paint that again and help prolong the life of the plastic bags. Now I'd like to take you over and show you how our corn's doing. With our Oklahoma winds, it's not uncommon for our sweet corn to get up several inches high, and then we'll get a strong gust of wind or a storm and they'll blow over. So what we've done this year to try to correct that is plant our corn in a furrow. So we've planted it pretty deep, and you can see the furrow here, and then as the corn is germinated, what we're going to do is come in and pull the soil over. Now we've got 3 different varieties here. In this particular variety, which is bodacious, we've got a pretty poor stand, so within the first couple of weeks, we can come in and plug some more seed in there and try to get a good stand. But we've got good stands in some of the others, and again, we're just going to pull soil from the outside and push that over against the stem, and then as it continues to grow, we'll bring some more up, and that'll give us a little bit more security. And of course, on corn, it will send roots out along the stem. So we'll try to get a little bit better security. And then it's about time for us to put our first side dressing application on as well. As a reminder, last fall we planted our wildflower plot. And on this half of the plot, we planted the seed right on top of the ground, covered it with wheat straw, thinking that it would help reduce some of our weeds. This half of the plot, we tilled in the soil a little bit, mixed in the seed. As you can see, we got a poor stand of wildflowers. Our straw was too thick, and I think really it would have worked better if we would have composted the straw to begin with, shred it up, and it'd be a little better stand. Over here, we've gotten some bachelor's buttons, which come in pink and white and a blue color, and an annual larkspur. And these are really not true native wildflowers to Oklahoma, but they've naturalized. And again, we've got a really good stand. This creature right over here with the thorns is a thistle, and it is a wildflower along the side of the roads. It has a real pretty purple flower, but it can be a bad weed problem if you let it go to flower and seed. So this one you may want to keep out of your garden and lawn when it gets a lot smaller, and you'll know it because it has a lot of thick thorns on it. So we'll show you how the wildflowers progress throughout the summer, and again, they'll reseed themselves. And that's all the time we've got today on our show, and we hope you have a profitable and enjoyable gardening weekend, and we hope to see you next week on Oklahoma Gardening.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.